Hi everyone, Donovan here. In this video, I'm just going to teach you how to change the spawn point on your gun. So you can see as I'm shooting, the bullets are flying above my head, even though they're spawning kinda in the right location. They're too far in the top, right? And I want them to spawn at the end of my gun barrel. So I'm going to close that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my main character. And right next to hitboxes, you have an option there to edit points. So I'm going to click on that. Now, by default, each sprite gets 2 different points. You have one in the center of the character, and you have one called the origin, which is up here. Now, the origin is the part of the animation that will change, right, by frame. So I have frame 0. So if I go to frame 5, those when GDevelop flips those frames in the game, it's going to flip it at that point. Okay, so that point's also useful if you're spawning an object. Wherever you spawn it, it's going to be at that point by default. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my frame 0, and what I want to do is I want to actually create a new point, and I'm going to call this bullet spawn, just like that. And I'm just going to move it so I can see. It's really hard to see. It's that like really light blue, but you'll be able to find it eventually. It started off right in the corner where that red was. So just change your X and Y's until it's something you can see, and then just drag it down to the barrel of your gun. Whoops. Okay, now it's there at the barrel of your gun. Your option here to share the same points for all animations and share the points for all sprites of this animation should both be ticked. Otherwise, you have to go into each of these frames and change it manually, right? So once you've got it roughly set, that's good enough. Just remember how you've spelt that. So mine's just called bullet spawn, all lowercase. Whoops. And I'm going to hit close. And I'll hit apply. Now I want to go back into my code. Now in the last video, we added the Z key released, and up here we have 2 other Z key released, one when it's flipped and one when it's not flipped. And that's just so the bullet would fly in the other direction, right? However, you see that one of these actions is the same on both of them. So whenever you code something, if you're repeating the exact same code, there has to be a more efficient way of doing that, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag that into my new Z keys released, because I want that to play. It doesn't matter if I'm flipped or not. I want that to play either way, and then I'll delete it from up there, right? So in my my Z key released, if my character's flipped or not flipped, I should just be doing the speed of the bullet. Down here now, in this Z keys released, I only have one set of code. And that's because, I'm going to move that up actually. The reason that's good is now if I want to come and change this, because I want it to spawn now on the bullet points, I only have to change it once, right? So I have less opportunity to make errors and things like that. So here in main character, I'm just going to click on this formula button down here. And what I want to look for is a sprite, a position on the sprite, and an X position on the sprite. Then it asks you to choose an object, which is our main character, and then the name of the point, which is our bullet spawn. And we have to wrap those inside quotation marks, just like that. Hit apply. And I'm going to delete that. And I'm just going to copy that and paste it in the Y, but I'm going to change that X to Y, right? And a bullet spawn, and I'm going to hit OK. So now if I press play, and I'm walking and I'm shooting, right, it's much better, right? It is better. Okay, so main character dot point y bullet spawn. I wonder if it's because I moved it out of here, so I'm just gonna copy that again, paste it again, move it down. Let's play that again. Why isn't it moving? Because I'm creating the... Okay. So the reason that's being a bit of an issue is because up here I'm trying to add the force to the bullet before I've created it, right? So how I had it before works. I'm just going to undo what I just did. It works, but what it's doing is it's playing this, so it reads it top to bottom. So it's playing this, and then it's coming down and then playing this after. So it's adding the force before the bullet's created. So what I want to do is I want to move this somehow. There. To the top, so above it. So it creates the bullet and then adds the force. So I'm going to hit play again. This time, much better. Not much better. So I might have to move that back. Let's try that. Okay, now that's better. Okay, so it's going in the right location now, but it's still not spawning on the point of the barrel. And that's just because our bullet, remember I said that the bullet's being spawned, or whenever you spawn an object, it's being spawned at this, right? So this is being spawned at my bullet spawn. So this is lower than my barrel. So I just have to move that near like the center of my bullet. And hit close, and hit apply, and hit play. And it's much better. Cool. And I go the other way. Okay. So essentially that's how you have to create animations. I know we had a bit of stumbling over moving that force bit around, but that's just something you have to get used to doing whenever you're creating a game, troubleshooting like that. Okay, so that's it for this game, for this video. In the next video, we might learn how to use instance variables.